Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What's going on out there, peeps? Man, so it's getting a little rough over there in Iraq. I'm not sure what direction they're going to head in, but it looks like the coordinated framework is forcing other groups to make their choices. Now, I don't know what kind of power or sway they have over forcing these people to do what they want them to do, but we're about to find out here shortly. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. Everything about buying gold or silver, go check out our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. So here we go. This is what I'm talking about. It says an important message from Baghdad that resolves the fate of the presidential candidates and sets a deadline for the Kurds. Says the leader of the coordinated framework revealed on Friday the details of the message sent from the coordinated framework to the leaders of the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan and the Democratic Party, indicating that the message includes a reminder of the framework deadline to decide the selection of the president of the republic. You still have to have a quorum. You still have to have more than 2/3 show up to vote a president in. So Al-Mamari said in an interview to the news, the coordinated framework sent a very important message to the leaders of the Kurdistan Democratic Party and the Patriotic Union in Erbil yesterday in order to expedite the resolution of submitting the consensual candidate for the position of president of the republic. And they were given a 1-week deadline for a resolution. And if they don't, he added, in the event the results cannot be reached, the two parties must present a candidate to the House of Representatives and leave the option to the members of the chosen one of them for the post of the President of the Republic, i.e. a repeat of what happened in 2018. He pointed out that choosing the President of the Republic is very important for setting the first features of forming the government by assigning the Sudanese, who enjoys the support of most of the political forces, to form the next government. The coordinated framework has demanded on several occasions from the Kurd forces to decide to enter a unified candidate for the president of the republic or to enter with two candidates before entering the voting session for the president. I swear these people are just spinning their wheels in the mud. Oh yeah, here's an article that's the big talk of the town. Everybody's talking about the $20,000 dinar, the new category under the lens of experts, negative and positive times. I've had a chance to chat with people, and they're like, do you think this has anything to do with the revaluation? No, not at all. When you have a denomination that high, that doesn't show you that they have any plans anytime soon to change the value of the dinar, or there would be no need for a $20,000 dinar. See where I'm going with this? But there's an eye-catching part of this article that I found interesting. It said the Central Bank of Iraq is heading to issue a new category of local currencies for cash circulation. That is not very high after the depreciation of its currency against the dollar, in a move described as useless and will increase inflation on the other hand. And its goal is to improve the efficiency of the performance of the cash payment system in the country in intermediate currencies that serve the speed of the monetary exchange and facilitate settlement of transactions and payment methods within the economic community on the other hand. So when I say, look, these guys wanted to create a $20,000 dinar, think about the value of the dinar. If it was going to change to $3.22 or $1.50 or even $1, there wouldn't be a need for a $20,000 dinar, unfortunately, because you'd want a lower denomination dinar. Think about what the exchange rate would be. So he said that the governor of Iraq is working on a new category for dinars. I don't agree that they should do a $20,000. It makes no sense. A $20,000 dinar is the wrong direction. So it's not a good thing that they want to do this. But here's something I want you to think about. Look at this. The reporter answers a set of questions. What are the main reasons for launching the new Iraqi currency at the value of 20,000 dinars, which is about $13 US? What are its pros and cons? Then what role is it supposed to play in improving the image of the local currency after a wave of semi-collapse following the rise in the price of the dollar and its depreciation about 3 years ago. Isn't that crazy? Do you realize when this December comes at the very end, it would be 3 years since the Iraqi dinar was depreciated? That's how much time has flown by. It was at the end of 2019, so they can have a 2020 budget without going bankrupt. That's what happened. And they made the change. And now in this December coming up, it's going to be 3 years. 3 years have already passed since the depreciation of the Iraqi dinar. It says a member of the Parliament's Finance Committee, Cougar, disagrees with the Central Bank of Iraq and believes that it was more appropriate to print smaller denominations of cash. I agree, such as the 150 dinar denominations, but he went to print a new denomination of 20,000 between the currencies far from each other, 10,000 and 25,000, and there is no between them any other currencies. No, the lower denomination will help breathe confidence in Iraqi dinar. It will give the indication that they believe in the near future it's going to appreciate in value. But again, the reason why they don't do 150 dinar is because it will hold no value. There'd be no need for those dollars in circulation. Representative Cougar suggests printing a new category gradually, not at once, and for varying periods, especially since there is a talk about the possibility of printing about 70 trillion more Iraqi dinars. Currencies around the world are just going crazy with the amount of currencies that they are printing. This doesn't help the Iraqi dinar. Again, think supply and demand. The more they keep printing of them, the less valuable they are. I don't think they need any more currencies. Just deal with what you got. Most of the banking is done digitally anyways. Does the issuance of a new category contribute to the increase in inflation? Of course it does. Of course it does. You can see right here it says the more monetary issuance will lead to the disappearance of other monetary categories in the market, the smaller ones. This is the wrong direction. Think about the Zim dollar. And this may lead to a kind of inflation in our Iraq economy, which exceeded 6%. So going to a $20,000 dinar is not a good sign, man. It really isn't, and I'm hoping they don't do it. It says the economic expert comments on the possibility of Iraq currency entering another stage of collapse against the US dollar, as it is said from time to time that the oil dollars leading to an increase in foreign reserves with the Iraqi central prevents the collapse of the local currency through the foreign currency sell windows, and also led to the confidence relatively individuals in dinars and the narrowness of the dollarization phenomena that the Iraqi economy was suffering from. That's all good news. But Iraq should think about really going to the gold currency. They really should, just like Russia and China are doing. I mean, that's not good for us, but it would be good for the Iraqi people. It would show a lot of confidence, a lot of strength, and be very supported. Their local currency I'm talking about. You can see what China is doing. They're dropping US dollars. Iraq should do the same thing and buy up more of their own currency like they did for a spell there when they were buying a ton of the Iraqi dinars off the open market and then destroy them. Think supply and demand. I spoke about this in one of my videos. I felt that what Iran did and Turkey did in the regions of Iraq were an act of war. Both of them bombing areas within Iraq, which is a no-no. And to me, I felt like that was an act of war. So Parliament is going to discuss this. I'm not sure what they're going to get accomplished. But I can tell you this, it's caught the attentions of the United States. You can see here, U.S. Senator, that the Kurds are our allies, and Iran's attacks on the region are dangerous. Not just dangerous, but an act of war. So this is Chris von Holland. Described the Iranian attack on Kurdish region as a dangerous developing, stressing the importance of the United States continuing to support our Kurdish allies, whom he described as key partners, which they actually are. Right here you can see, well, it's a serious matter and it's a violation of Iraq's sovereignty in terms of the Iranian government's overstepping the border and attacking positions and people on the Iraqi side. Hell yeah, it is. So now you got Biden flapping off at the mouth that they're thinking about doing something to punish Iran for this. Iran's already accusing Israel and the United States for being behind these protests and these uprisings in Iran, which there is something about that. It would not be surprising to me, to be quite honest with you. There happens to be uprisings in China, Russia and Iran all happened at the same time. It seems to me that's a CIA operation. These are the three countries that are not in lockstep with this whole new world order. It says al-Sadr calls on al-Qademi to rein in the Kiz militia and freeze the brigades in Iraq with the exception of the Samara. It said a close associated leader of the Sadrist movement, known as the Minister of the Leader, called on Tuesday the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, which is al-Qademi, to rein in Kiskazali, announcing at the time the freezing of the Al-Salam, the military wing of the Sadrist movement, in regions and cities of Iraq, with the exception of the Samara district. Al-Iraqi said in a tweet, which is followed by the news, that the commander of the armed forces must rein in the insolent Kiz militia and their ilk, as they know nothing but terrorism, money, and power. Said the minister of the commander added, in our turn, and to stave off sedition in Basra province, we announced the freezing of all armed factions, if any, including the peace brigades, and the prohibition of the use of these weapons in all provinces except for the Samara one, for the Samara area, or according to the directives of the current commander-in-chief of the armed forces.